What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this. It appears that a lot of people don't want to believe the fact that Surf is actually a snitch. And yet he rolled over on terrible. And he rolled over on the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip gang by which he was associated and affiliated with. A lot of people we knew was going to try to deny these. Well, these aren't even allegations. These are facts. You can't get around the paperwork. It don't matter what you argue with. You're not going to get around the paperwork. And we're going to go through it again to literally show you proof without a doubt that this man literally snitched and told. The one who the battle rap community so love and embrace and appreciate and always free to wave in every battle. If we're going to keep the same energy for Clone and Kid Slade and Bad News and Adi Boom, just because those are considered to be low tier battle rappers, we ain't gonna ignore this when it comes to Surf being the top tier battle rapper. In fact, he gonna get it the worst. He gonna get it the worst. Okay. Now, with that being said, again, I've been reading the comments. I'm seeing a lot of people. It's half and half in the comments. Some people who really don't care is actually just calling it like it is. Yeah, he snitched. Some people who just like him so much and just disgusted and appalled at the idea that he could do such a thing is looking to make any excuse they can for him to justify still staying there, rocking with him. Look, if that's what you want to do, hey, do that. Hey, it is what it is. And the thing about it, it's not to personally hate anybody, but we just putting the facts and truth out there. I don't hate Surf. I ain't got nothing against him. I believe he's a phenomenal rapper, a phenomenal musician. But the fact remains, he snitched and told and rolled over on people at the same time, yelling and screaming, gang, gang, like most of these guys always do anyway. Man. Then when they get caught up in their actions, they roll over. Okay, so with that being said, without a doubt, Surf snitched. And we're going to go through the documentations. Like right now, what you see on the screen. This is what Surf said to his lawyer. All this stuff is documented and filed. Look what Surf said, right? He said the very first moment that we sat down together in the Essex County Jail, both with our masks on. So this was, during the COVID situation still. Mr. Cox, Surf, immediately accepted full responsibility. See, he immediately accepted full responsibilities. So he immediately admitted his guilt for everything. He didn't care no more for everything. I'm gonna tell y'all why this is so important. And this is one of the reasons that led to why he just didn't care no more. He expressed a desire that I must get this case resolved as quickly as I can. This is Surf. He says, my life is over. My life is over with the Rolling 60s. So at this point, he don't care. I don't want no ties, no dealings with them at all in any type of way. Then he tell you why. He says, I'm turning the page. I need to get back to my career. Notice what he said first, his career. Then he says, and to my daughter and to my mother. Let me show you why this is so important. Remember, Surf got indicted during the Rolling Loud concert tour that he was on. His career was just now starting to reach the peak by which he had grinded so hard for. He had been doing countless mixtapes with Mozzie, who signed to CMG, Yo Gotti them. He had another song he had just did with Chris Brown that he was trying to get clearance to be released and dropped. He had already was in some type of negotiations, dealings with 50 Cent. So his career was taking off. And that Rolling Loud concert put him in a highlight by which he could actually be recognized with more odds and attraction to help build up the numbers needed to negotiate the contract deals by which he wanted to sign. So he felt some type of way, seeing not now. I can't get indicted, not right now, not when it's just finna happen for me. He just got, remember, he was getting those caffeine checks. URL had just gave him a raise where he was bragging all on spaces. Oh, I'm getting 60,000 a battle now. Only for it now to start falling apart right before his very eyes when he gets smacked with an indictment. And remember, he was having sex with Lil Mama, another hip-hop artist in the game. So his career was starting to take off. His career was starting to take off. So guess what? You know how arrogant he is. You know how prideful he is. Just when he feeling himself and showing out and bragging about all his accomplishments, he get hit with the indictment. So he like, no, not right now. And look what he say. I need to get back to my career, my daughter, my mama. Mr. Ripple, help me. Do anything you can to try to get this case resolved for me as quickly as possible. Get me before a court. See, I need to tell, I need to snitch. I need to get out of here any type of way I can. Now, I know people were saying in the comments, oh, he only told on himself. He ain't tell on nobody else. Here's y'all ignorance that y'all don't get. Surf is under a RICO indictment. Let me enlighten y'all of what that means. Under the RICO indictment, your plea of guilt falls on the others involved with the indictment, because the RICO indictment is of organized enterprise, mob actions, organizations. All they need is the guilt of someone else for it to fall on everybody else. That's the purpose of the conspiracy, that you have knowingly knowledge of the crimes committed by which y'all have been indicted upon. And it takes one person to admit guilt, take a plea by which it falls on everybody else that's associated in the indictment along with them. That's why taking the pleas are so damaging and indictments RICO law when y'all all group together as a whole. So one person taking the plea is admitted guilt for everybody else, because his plea is himself admitting that, yes, I'm a part of this gang with them. Yes, I committed these crimes while in the gang with them. Yes, I did this, which means they did that, because they're all together, even though he's taking ownership of his own actions. See, he's not taking a plea under a count by himself, where it's only him alone. He's indicted under a RICO law with others. RICO, the organization, the enterprise, the gathering of the groups by which they all is under the same documentations. So admitting his own is nothing but confirming the RICO itself by which they are indicted. That's what y'all don't get in y'all ignorance of the law, not understanding what's happening. And you don't understand how the ripple effect and domino effect hit everybody when he's confessing to his crimes under the RICO and being a rolling 60 Crip. Along with this, see, this indictment is the rolling 60s indictment. They all know each other. So his self-admittance is also relevant against them, by which they also is guilty upon his confession. And that's what we're about to see. We're finna go even deeper. See, this what y'all don't get. If you just shut up some damn time and listen, you understand what's happening. So that's clearly him telling you, not at the peak of my career. I need to do anything I can to get this case resolved. He telling his lawyer, please reach out to whoever you need to reach out to, contact whoever you need to contact with. Tell them I'm ready to work and negotiate to get this over. I need to get out of here as quick as possible while my name is hot. While my name is hot. I need to get out of this quickly. I got contracts on the table and everything. Let's go up a little further. More proof that he snitched and told. More proof. And again, shouts out to Byron Blake for covering this. He did a damn good job on this. Even when he's speaking over it and breaking it down, he did his thing. Okay. Right here, let's read more into this. Look what it says right here. Right? So look at the middle paragraph, what it says here. The violation of 18 USC 922G, right? Look what it says here. Charged in count 3 of the superseding indictment. Notice what it says here. It said this is a superseding indictment. That means all information given helps to continue this investigation to actually further more arrest. That's what it means. Superseding indictment. So this is an ongoing indictment. It's not closed. So all information given, all pleas given, further the indictment for more arrest. So the violation of this, look, so the superseding indictment to which Cox agrees to plead guilty. Remember, Cox is served. He's pleading guilty as a rolling 60 Crip under a rolling 60s indictment. Therefore, anything he says is confirmation of the indictment by which they are under as rolling 60s. So Cox agrees to plead guilty, carries a statutory maximum prison sentence of 10 years and statutory maximum fine, right? Now, let me show you something. Okay, so let me get here. Now, so he's pleading guilty under the superseding indictment. Just want to make sure my time right. So watch this, y'all. Now let's go here. Right? I'm going to play a little bit of this.
Surf would enter his guilty plea. While determining the factual basis for his plea, the proceedings would go as follows.
Now, watch this. Pay close attention to this. So as I go up to 656 here, watch this, y'all. Undeniable proof that that Surf is snitching. Watch this. Okay, look what it says here. Now, pay attention. It says this. The court, speaking to Surf, okay, during previously mentioned time period, did you knowingly and intentionally conspire with other members, plural? He's not talking about just himself. Other members in associates, plural, of the enterprise. See, notice they're using the word enterprise. When you see enterprise, this means the RICO. This means RICO. This is the group. So they call in the rolling 60s the enterprise of criminal activities going on. So notice it says to Cox, which is Surf. So did you knowingly and intentionally conspire with other members and associates? See, this is part of his plea deal. See, in his plea deal, it's telling you that he's telling on others at the same time entering the plea deal of his own actions by which he was accountable for personally. So in his plea, it's establishing what he did. Then it's also telling you behind the scenes of what he said about others that he don't have to mention while admitting to his plea deal, as far as like what's on record of him pleading guilty right now. So in other words, he's saying, yeah, I did this, even though he told on others what it says right here when it says he knowingly and intentionally conspired with other members and associates. That meant he gave this information to them also, because this is part of the plea deal by which they said, okay, we got you charged with 6 other counts. We're going to drop 4 and as part of your plea and only charge you with 2. We're going to give you 2 minimal charges that's not as big as the other ones. So we're going to drop the main 4, and we're going to give you only the 2 minimal ones that's less time for your cooperation with the other members. So all you're going to do is enter your plea of where you went wrong, but at the same time, you're going to give us the information of everybody else. So that's what you're seeing right here. You're seeing him entering his plea of what he personally did, at the same time behind the scenes telling what everybody else did that he don't have to mention on record while he's taking his plea. So that's what this is showing you, that he did this behind the scene by which they agreed and was satisfied in all the information he provided on other members and associates that he was with, right? To distribute and possess with the intent to distribute at least 40 but less than 60 kilograms of marijuana across the state lines. See, that's the RICO again. All of this is Surf agreeing of his participation with the gang that got them under the RICO. Notice they saying the drugs that's being transported across state lines, the enterprise, and he's associated with the members, plural, and associates, plural. It's not just him by himself. Members, associates, plural. And remember, he's the first one taking the plea. He's the first one taking the plea before anybody else. Very important, because they're under the RICO. His plea confirms their indictment, because he's pleading as a rolling 60 Crip under a rolling 60s indictment, by which they are all knowledgeable of one another. Let's listen to his confession.
His guilty plea. While determining the factual basis for his plea, the proceedings would go as follows. The court. Now, going back into the body of the agreement, I will direct the question to you, Mr. Whipple, and specifically,
Mr. Whipple is Surf's lawyer.
I am referring to page 5 as to whether there are any immigration consequences that would befall, specifically as it relates to his status in this country. Mr. Whipple, Your Honor, Mr. Cox is a United States citizen born in Essex County, New Jersey, so it's not applicable to him. The court. Thank you, Mr. Whipple. At this time, Mr. Cox, I am going to proceed to the factual basis, and once again, your verbal acknowledgments are required. From at least in or around 2015 through on or about September 22nd, 2022, were you a member and associate of the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips gang, known as the Rolling 60s or the Enterprise?
Stop right there. See, here's the wordplay. Pay attention to the wordplay. Now, this is Surf plea. Notice how they line him up for the plea. See, these people are masters in what they do. The line of questioning is guilt admittance to the RICO. Look at how it's worded here. It says, Mr. Cox, Surf. Look what it says. From at least in or around 2015 through on or about September 2022 to 2022. Watch this. Were you a member and associate of the rolling 60. The purpose of why they landed this, were you a member and associate? This is conspiracy. This is the knowledge of, were you, Mr. Cox, Surf, a member and associate of the Rolling 60 neighborhood Crip gang, known as Rolling 60. Watch this. Or the Enterprise. They go to RICO right there. The Enterprise. The Rolling 60s Enterprise. That's rolling. That right there is RICO. So what they is asking Surf, in his yes statement, he's now locking in as a sworn witness against the Rolling 60s in this plea by which he just agreed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am a Crip associated with the Rolling 60s, and it is an enterprise. That's RICO. They go to RICO. Now, everything he say from here on out is another check mark, a confirmation for the RICO. This is what y'all don't get. This is what y'all ignorant people don't get in the comments who don't know nothing about law. Look at the line of questioning, how it's set up. Rolling 60s Crip Enterprise. See, a lot of y'all look at it as block stuff, gang stuff. They call it an enterprise. In other words, it's the RICO. It's what the RICO is. It's lining them up as a criminal organization enterprise. That's the term in the court of law by which they indict. Surf says yes. So now he's speaking as a Rolling 60s representative of relationship. Notice it said, are you a member and associate with the Rolling 60s? So now he speak on their behalf. That's what this plea means. He's speaking on their behalf, even when he's confessing to his own actions. That's why after he put this plea in, what it does is confirm the indictment by which other people now start taking pleas and rolling over as a result of his testimony. And that's why he got less time than everybody else. Watch this. Did the Rolling 60s operate? Watch this.
The defendant. Yes, ma'am. The court. Did the Rolling 60s operate in the District of New Jersey? The defendant. Yes, ma'am.
Location. See, look, every question is strategically lined up to actually slam dunk, grand slam the RICO on everybody else. So you get one person to rat and roll over. That's all you need. That right there confirms the conspiracy of the knowledge of knowing. That's why they opened up. Were you a member and associate with the Rolling 60s? Yes. Where are y'all located? New Jersey. Okay. So now we have the players involved. Y'all Rolling 60s. You are a member. Knowledge of the members that's involved, and y'all located in New Jersey because the indictment is a New Jersey Rolling 60s. So what they are doing is crossing dotting their I's and crossing their T's of the indictment by which everybody is arrested under. That's what y'all don't get. These line of questions is strategically put in play to be asked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. They put in a row because it's perfectly structured to confirm the indictment. Even in his ignorance, he may just be thinking, oh, I'm just taking my plea. No, you're not. Well, he don't know that in his ignorance because he already told on everybody else. So he knew he was snitching on everybody else. So he's not just talking of his own stuff. Now, look what it says right here.
The court. Did the enterprise have rules, traditions, and protocols that you followed as a member and associate?
See that? RICO. They running down the RICO to him. Did they have protocols, laws, and rules that members and associates? Notice what it says. That you followed as a member and associate. Notice they keep saying he's a member and associate because being a member and associate lock him up with everybody else. Line him up with everybody else. Pay attention to the chain of what's being happening. Every time he say yes, notice what they say again. Why they keep saying, are you a member and associate? Member and associate. Watch this.
The defendant. Yes, ma'am. The court. During the time that you were a member of the enterprise, did you knowingly conspire, that is, agree with other members and associates of the enterprise?
See that? Look at this. He's not telling just on, he's telling on everybody else. During the time that you were a member of the enterprise, see, they're gonna always lock members with the enterprise because the enterprise is the RICO under the mob, under the illegal actions that's taking place. That they continue to say enterprise. This is the legal term by which they are indicted as the gang. Did y'all knowingly do this? In other words, we knew everything we were doing. Did you knowingly conspire? The knowledge of knowing what you're doing along with the members who involved. That is, agree with other members. S, other members. S, plural. In associates, plural, of the enterprise to commit at least 2 criminal acts or further of the enterprise. See, did y'all at the rolling 60s come together to commit criminal acts under this enterprise? RICO. RICO. What do he say? Yes. Yes, we did. Because they speaking in the plural. Other members, associates of the enterprise committed criminal acts in furtherance of the enterprise, RICO. In his response, yes. He's not speaking for himself. He's speaking for others. You idiots. Every last one of you idiots who got selective understanding and don't know how to comprehend. Plural. Members. Plural. Associates. Commit. See the arrow? Commit criminal acts under this enterprise, RICO. Search response, yes. To what? Members, associates, committing criminal acts for the enterprise. Surf, yes. Those others. Watch this. More involvement to the RICO that he's sworn testifying against himself and others.
To commit at least 2 criminal acts in furtherance of the enterprise? The defendant, yes. The court, were you in fact an organizer, leader, manager, or supervisor within the enterprise, Mr. Cox? The defendant, yes.
Notice they keep calling it the enterprise. Were you an organizer, a leader, a manager? So he's speaking as a representative of the organization, as an organizer, as a leader, as a manager, as a supervisor. So he have authority in the gang by which he have others under him. So his plea is not only a plea or of himself, but it's also against everybody else. Because he's saying that I'm a sworn leader in this also. Therefore, I'm well mindful of the participants involved, by which I am taking this plea on not only my behalf, theirs also, and saying we were guilty of doing these things. That's why they continue to say enterprise. The enterprise is not one individual. The enterprise are others involved. Surf answers, yes. This is bold snitching on everybody. Watch this.
The court, and did you in fact commit certain overt acts in furtherance of the conspiracy?
See that? The conspiracy, the knowledge of, and this is why they lined him up with the one question. Did you knowingly, conspiracy, knowingly commit these acts? Conspiracy, the knowledge of it. See, he's not only speaking for himself, he's speaking as a spokesperson for the rolling 60s, by which he's on record now admitting being one of the leaders. He's on record admitting I'm one of the leaders. So he's a spokesperson for them under the same indictment that they are indicted under. So he rolling over on them. The defendant, what do Surf say?
The defendant, yes. The court, for example.
See, this is very important to know. This is very important to know. Then they get the name and crime. Let me show you this. Let me show you another reason why he don't feel the type of way of rolling over on people. Watch this. If you notice, watch what this says.
Counts 1 and 3 of the superseding indictment.
It's a superseding indictment. That means everything Surf is saying is adding to the cases of everybody else who still haven't taken a plea, who still haven't had legal counseling, who ain't been sentenced. Everything he's saying is going against them. It is a superseding indictment. It is an ongoing indictment. So everything he says is going to them. Now watch this.
The defendant, yes, ma'am. The court, very well. Thank you, Mr. Cox. At this time, Ms. LaCorey, are there any representations the government would like to place on the record? Ms. LaCorey, the prosecutor. Yes, Your Honor. The United States makes the following representations to the court. First, the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips is an enterprise as defined in Title 18 United States.
See, notice what it says. After his testimony, they like, see, this is what we've been telling you. The Rolling 60s is a neighborhood crip, is an enterprise. Why? Surf is their spokesperson who just spoke and confirmed it. Yes, I am a leader. Yes, I was associated with members and other associates. Yes, we committed crimes, confirming a RICO. So what they did was had a witness who is Surf confess before the court. Then she's doing her final conclusion. See, this what we've been telling y'all all along. The Rolling 60s is a neighborhood crip gang, an enterprise under the RICO. See, after Surf sworn testimony to the others that's locked up yet who haven't taken a plea, which means Surf testimony goes against them also.
Code section 1961-4. Second, that the activities of the enterprise affected interstate commerce, including the sale of marijuana, heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and the use of facilities in interstate commerce. This was important because this is how they locked them in to traveling across state lines for it to be a Fed case. And that shows you how important the connection to California is.
Now, what's very important, notice how is Surf pleading of his own actions, but yet they're saying the Rolling 60s. Look, the court, the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips is an enterprise as defined in Title 18. See, but wait, Surf is only so-called confessing to his crime. No, he's not. He's confessing to crimes of the Rolling 60s as a leader. He's taking responsibility of what he did, at the same time testifying of what they did as a whole. See that? Why they not just mentioning Surf? Why they saying the Rolling 60s? The Rolling 60s. Then they taking everything Surf is confessing to and lining it up with the Rolling 60s. Look what it says. Second, that the activities of the enterprise affected interstate commerce, including through the sale of marijuana, heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, and the use of facilities in interstate commerce. Remember, they was asking Surf that when he was agreeing to it. See that? They took a rat to appear before the courts with a plea, confessing to the documentation by which they were indicted. That's what he did. How y'all not getting this? How y'all not understanding this? And one of the reasons why Surf can do this without fear of having any repercussions against him is because the shooters is also locked up in the indictment. So in my testimony of speaking against what they did and everything, I also get rid of the shooters. So he getting rid of the shooter too for a very long time. So he in the clear for a long time. That's why a lot of people sometimes don't mind snitching neither, when you also getting rid of the threat. If I'm a snitch, I'm going to make sure I put away the shooters also. And guess who on the indictment list? The shooters. Okay, watch this. Let me show y'all something. Okay. These guys, you see it right here? These guys are the shooters. These guys are the shooters. So Surf speaking of the situation, he also speaking and getting rid of the shooters. He getting rid of the shooters too. Franklin them is shooters. Like this dude you see here, these guys are shooters. They are known shooters. Franklin guy, he wanted to lead it. He's a shooter. So Surf killed two birds with one stone. He get rid of the shooter too. Come on, man. See, that's why Byron Blake did a good job in breaking this down too. Street dudes like us, we can break this stuff down. We understand this stuff. See how we could break it down and bring clarity to it that y'all wasn't even thinking about it, didn't pay attention to it. Like, dang, I didn't notice that. Yeah, because y'all ain't never been through nothing. Most of the people in the comments saying, like, I don't see them snitching. You don't know nothing. You ain't been through nothing. You don't recognize stuff. You don't understand how this works, how this goes, because y'all ain't in the field. Anybody who have experience in streets and understand paperwork, documentation, you literally clearly see, oh my God, this dude ratting like a mug. He's telling up a storm. Watch this. Let me go to 1327. Watch this. More snitching. Look what it says right here. Look how clear this is. Okay. This is the court speaking about Surf. And I have to compliment the probation department and working really hard on this case and putting together a very comprehensive report. Putting together a very comprehensive report that tells the whole story, you know, about other defendants, you know, about the entire case. So he wasn't only testifying about what he did, he told the whole story about other defendants. Other defendants. Watch this. Let me let y'all hear it. I just wanted to pause a little bit. Watch this. Other defendants. So he didn't just tell on himself. No, he told on others.
And putting together a very comprehensive report that tells the really hard on this case and putting together a very comprehensive report. No mention of Surf. And although Surf was the first to plead out and thus the first to have his case closed, at his sentencing, his attorney would compliment the probation department in working really hard on this case and putting together a very comprehensive report that tells the whole story, you know, about other defendants, you know, about the entire case. In the eyes of those familiar with this process, this was the most telling sign of Surf's cooperation. How could the probation office tell the entire story of the other co-defendants if the other co-defendants hadn't yet been sentenced and met with the probation office themselves? As if this wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, Surf was then given the lightest sentence of all the defendants charged in the case. In a recent interview, Sammy the Bull would speak on John Gotti's no.
Surf only got 3 years, y'all. He got 3 years in and 3 years out. Right there. Clear. He told. He snitched. So I know he got a lot of supporters and battle rap. I know he got his fan base. I know he got his friends. I know he got his homies. He clearly snitched. He clearly told. He rolled over on all of them. His plea hurt everybody else. His plea hurt everybody else because his plea confirmed the indictment by which they all was indicted under. Literally. And he literally told on them behind the scenes. That's what that whole paperwork and documentation Jeff was showing, Jeff was proving, Jeff was saying. That was the purpose of them dropping 4 his felony charges and only charging him with 2 as part of the plea agreement deal that he signed with them so he could hurry back and get to his career. That's what he did. Ain't no way to get around that. That's clear. Now, if you idiots don't see that, that's on you. You don't need an excuse to still like a person and rock with them. Just do it. That's in you. That's in you. It is what it is. Again, but the truth is the truth. And I'm not telling people to hate him. That's what happens when y'all live that life. When you're involved in that life, when you live in an ungodly, wicked, evil life, rebelling against God, these things happen. Now you in jail wanting to be with your mama. Now you in jail wanting to be with your kids. But when you were free with them, you didn't do what you needed to do to make sure you stay with them. Now you get locked up after hurting others and doing this wrong stuff to people. And now you want people to feel sorry for you. These brothers locked up for murder. They locked up for destroying their communities with drugs, rape, extortion, prostitution, child molesting. All that goes involved in these type of things. But now you want to whine and boo-hoo and want mercy when you locked up for your actions and the things you did. And all that tough guy talk and all that killing and gangster, bang, bang is out the window when you in the face of authority. So no, I don't feel sorry for these guys. Wrong is wrong. Do you feel sorry for the people who you killed? Do you have any sympathy and mercy for the little children who witnessed y'all shooting openly out in the open, right in front of their faces? The horrors they got to live with, scared to walk down the streets, feeding their family drugs, while people getting high, raping, molesting, and beating them. See, y'all don't look at the horrors of the reality of that truth. But it is what it is. He snitched. He told. He a rat, okay? He a bigger rat than everybody. He a bigger rat than Clone. He a bigger rat than Bad News. He a bigger rat than Adi Boom. He a bigger rat than Kid Slade. He is, according to the paperwork and documentations of what he's talking about. That's what he did. I know y'all like the rap. I know y'all like the mixtape, but the fact remains, he snitched and he told. That's exactly what he did. He snitched, he told on all of them.
Because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing...
You will tell it.
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that. I value that. I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
Bustin' no streets for you, so leave me waiting on you. Bustin' no streets for you, so leave me waiting on you. Bustin' no streets for you, so leave